Did you ever feel a little off after visiting someone, even if nothing seemed wrong at the time? In 70s or 80s, our days start to feel more precious. We crave connection, yes, but not just any kind. We want peace, stability, and conversations that don't drain us. And yet, one of the quietest mistakes many older people make is visiting others out of habit, guilt, or pressure, when deep down they no longer want to. This video isn't about shutting yourself away or giving up your friendships. It's about choosing wisely, because not every visit is good for your body, your mind, or your heart. Today, we're going to go over 7 powerful reasons why visiting others can quietly wear you down, and why thousands of wise older adults are learning to say no more, often for the sake of their own health and happiness. If you're someone who wants to live smarter, protect your energy, and spend your time in ways that actually uplift you, then I encourage you to stay with me. Each point we'll cover is something most people won't say out loud, but once you hear it, it might just explain what you've been feeling for years. Let's get into it. Reason 1, emotional overload. One of the most common traps older adults fall into when visiting others is carrying the emotional weight of the room without realizing it. You might show up to a friend's or relative's home just to say hello or catch up. But the moment you walk in, you feel something's off. Maybe it's tension between family members. Maybe someone's in a bad mood. Or maybe no one even looks up from their phone. And yet, out of habit, you smile, stay polite, and stay longer than you want to. As we age, our emotional sensitivity often increases, not decreases. We feel more. We absorb more. And unlike when we were younger, we don't always bounce back from emotional strain overnight. That quiet anxiety you feel after a stressful visit, that tiredness that sits in your chest for days, that's not weakness. It's your nervous system telling you that your boundaries were crossed. Older adults are especially vulnerable to what's called emotional flooding. It's when the environment around you becomes so overwhelming through arguments, passive aggression, or even just noisy chaos that your brain goes into defense mode. You may not even realize it's happening until later, when you feel strangely drained, irritable, or even physically unwell. It's not about blaming others. It's about recognizing how much energy it takes to manage a space that doesn't feel emotionally safe. And unfortunately, many seniors keep visiting people out of obligation, even if the visits leave them feeling worse, not better. Take Helen, for example. She's 74 and has 3 grown children. Every Sunday, she used to rotate between their houses, trying to be the loving, present mom and grandmother. But more often than not, she'd come home exhausted, mentally and physically. Her daughter always seemed rushed. Her son was glued to sports, and the youngest often vented about work. No one ever asked how she was doing. Eventually, Helen decided to stop the Sunday routine. Instead, she invited each child to her home, one at a time when she actually felt up to it. Not only did her health improve, but her relationships deepened. The visits became intentional, not automatic, and the emotional exhaustion disappeared. You are allowed to prioritize emotional peace. You are allowed to stop visiting places that leave you feeling less than whole. You are allowed to say, "Not this week." And most of all, you are allowed to protect your heart. Let's keep going. Reason 2, physical strain and hidden fatigue. Many older adults underestimate how physically taxing it is just to leave the house and go visit someone, especially if that visit involves stairs, long walks from parking lots, or just sitting on uncomfortable furniture for too long. What used to be a quick outing in our 40s can become a 2-day recovery by our 70s. Think about it. From getting dressed into packing things you might need just in case, to getting into the car, driving, navigating traffic, or waiting for a ride, it all adds up. And by the time you actually arrive, half your energy is already gone. But we don't want to seem rude or fragile, so we push through. The real risk here isn't just being tired. It's pushing your body into silent exhaustion. That's the kind where you're not gasping for air or feeling pain, but where your muscles feel heavy, your knees feel weak, and your posture starts to slump without you noticing. This is when falls happen. This is when blood pressure shifts. This is when your immune system takes a hit, all because of a trip you didn't even want to make in the first place. There's a hidden cost to always being the one who makes the effort. And for older adults, that cost can come in the form of pain flares, blood sugar spikes, or just flat-out burnout. Let's look at Harold. He's 79 and lives alone. Every Friday, he used to drive across town to have dinner with his old neighbors. It was a nice gesture, but the roads were always crowded. The parking lot was a nightmare, and the dinner chairs hurt his back. For months, he told himself it was no big deal. But then he started waking up stiff and sore every Saturday. His doctor finally told him, "Your body's asking you to stop." So Harold did something simple but powerful. He called his friends and said, "If you'd like to see me, come visit me here. I'd love to cook for you." And just like that, the fatigue stopped. And he felt more in control of his time and energy. You deserve rest. Not just naps, but the kind of life where you don't owe anyone your presence, at the cost of your own health. If a visit takes more than it gives, it's okay to pass. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 2 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now let's move forward. Reason 3, unpredictable germ exposure from younger people. When we visit others, especially homes where children or younger adults live, we're often walking straight into an invisible minefield of germs. Our aging immune systems weren't built to fight. It's not just about obvious illness. Many younger people carry viruses or bacteria without symptoms. A grandchild might have a mild sniffle they barely notice. But for someone in their 70s, that same sniffle can become bronchitis or even pneumonia. And because older bodies don't fight infections like they used to, recovery takes longer, hits harder, and sometimes leads to complications we never saw coming. You might have noticed this pattern yourself. You go to a family event, everyone hugs and chats, you come home, and within a few days you're coughing, sneezing, or suddenly feel wiped out. It's not in your head. This is real and it happens all the time. Our bodies go through quiet changes after 65. Skin gets thinner. Mucous membranes dry out. White blood cells respond slower. So, while a 30-year-old might shake off a stomach bug in a day or two, an older adult can be stuck in bed for a week or even land in the hospital. Let's take Sandra, who's 72. She went to visit her daughter's house for her grandson's birthday. The house was packed with kids, laughter, and noise. But 2 days later, Sandra was bedridden, with a nasty cold that turned into sinusitis. Her doctor told her it came from a virus that's common in school-age kids. She lost 10 days of energy over a 2-hour visit. It's not about being afraid, it's about being wise. Visiting people who've been in crowded schools, offices, or stores isn't harmless. You're not being dramatic when you want to avoid that. You're protecting the only body you've got. Being cautious with where we go and who we see isn't selfish, it's self-care. And in your 70s and 80s, that's not optional. It's essential. Reason 4, energy drain that takes days to recover from. Visiting someone might seem like a small thing, but for many people between 65 and 80, even a short social call can drain energy in ways that weren't noticeable before. You put on clothes, maybe travel by car or bus, engage in conversation, navigate unfamiliar rooms and smile through it all. But what people don't see is what happens afterward. The exhaustion doesn't hit right away. It creeps in after you get home. It shows up in the way your legs feel heavy, your mind fogs over, or how you end up needing a nap just to get through the rest of the day. You might wake up the next morning and still feel tired like you ran a marathon in your sleep. That's because for many seniors, the mental and physical effort of visiting someone, even someone you love, can quietly chip away at your reserves. And unlike when you were younger, the bounce-back time stretches longer. What used to be a one-night recovery might now take 3 or 4 days. Take Bill, who's 78. He went to visit a couple he's known for years, just for a casual dinner. They sat, talked, laughed for a few hours. But by the time he got home, he felt like he'd done heavy lifting all day. His sleep was restless. His back hurt. And he skipped his daily walk for 3 days straight. That one dinner cost him more than he expected. This kind of energy crash isn't rare. It's common. And it's one of the quiet reasons older people start pulling back from social visits, not because they don't care, but because they physically can't afford the recovery time. It's okay to protect your energy. It's okay to say no, even to people who mean well. You're not being antisocial, you're being smart. Your body is giving you a message, and the wisest thing you can do is listen. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 4 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now let's move forward. Reason 5, risk of unwanted comparison and emotional triggers. One of the most overlooked risks of visiting others in your later years is how easily it can stir up emotions you thought were long settled. You walk into someone's home, and without meaning to, you start comparing. Maybe they have more family around. Maybe their health seems better. Maybe their kids call more, or they're surrounded by pictures of grandkids you don't get to see often. You smile, nod, make polite conversation, but inside you feel the sting. And it lingers long after you've said goodbye. Older adults often carry quiet grief. It might be the loss of a spouse, regrets about past decisions, or simply the aching reality that time feels shorter. Social visits can unintentionally press on those sore spots. You see what others have, and it can make you feel like you somehow fell behind. Let's take Grace, 74. She visited an old neighbor who just became a great-grandmother. The house was filled with baby toys, photos, and laughter. Grace was genuinely happy for her friend. But when she got home, she sat alone with a cup of tea and felt a weight in her chest. She hadn't seen her own kids in months, and suddenly the silence in her house felt unbearable. This kind of emotional spiral doesn't mean you're bitter or jealous. It means you're human. But recognizing those triggers is powerful. And avoiding situations that leave you feeling small or empty isn't selfish. It's wise self-preservation. Protecting your peace sometimes means staying in your own space. And when you do visit others, it helps to go in with clear emotional boundaries and a full cup of self-compassion. Reason 6, strain on your immune system. Every time you step into someone else's home, especially during colder months or allergy seasons, your body is exposed to new germs, allergens, and irritants that it might not be ready to handle. For younger folks, this kind of exposure usually isn't a big deal. But once you're over 65, your immune system doesn't bounce back the way it used to. That quick little sniffle you picked up from a grandchild could turn into a 2-week cough. A harmless visit could leave you exhausted, congested, and reaching for the thermometer at 2 a.m. Even the things we don't think about, like the scent of a new cleaning spray, dust in someone's carpet, or pet dander in the air can quietly overwhelm your respiratory system. One woman, Betty, 78, visited her niece's house for dinner and left with a headache, runny nose, and wheezing that lasted for days. The culprit, a new plug-in air freshener she didn't even notice. Your body's already working hard just to keep up with daily tasks. Adding avoidable stress to your immune system only wears it down faster. And let's be honest, getting sick as an older adult isn't just annoying. It can knock you out completely and set off other issues like dehydration, muscle weakness, or even hospitalization in some cases. By choosing to stay home more often or being very selective about where you go, you're not missing out. You're protecting yourself. You're giving your body the respect and rest it deserves. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 6 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now let's move forward. Reason 7, loss of control over your routine. When you visit others, even with the best intentions, you often end up adjusting your entire day around someone else's schedule. You eat when they serve the meal, you sit where they ask you to sit, and you stay as long as they want you to stay. And while that might seem polite, it can quietly rob you of one of the most valuable things in later life, your sense of control. One of the biggest emotional shifts people experience after 65 is how important routine becomes. It's not just about convenience, it's about feeling grounded. Waking up at the same time, preparing your meals just the way you like them, sitting in your own chair with your favorite book. That's not being rigid. That's honoring the rhythm your body and mind trust. But when you're visiting someone, that rhythm is easily thrown off. Maybe lunch is 2 hours later than you're used to, or the bathroom lighting makes you feel uneasy. Maybe you can't hear well in the space, and you find yourself nodding politely without knowing what anyone's talking about. These little discomforts add up. A man named Harold, 82, used to visit his daughter's home every other weekend. At first, it felt good, but over time, he noticed something. He was more tired afterward. His sleep was disrupted for a few nights, and he often forgot to take his afternoon pills because his usual reminder, his kitchen clock, wasn't there. It wasn't the visit itself that hurt him. It was the cost of giving up his own pace. When you're in your own space, you move how you want, you rest when your body tells you to, and you maintain the little habits that keep you steady. That autonomy is priceless. And as we age, preserving it becomes an act of self-respect, not selfishness. Choosing not to visit others so often isn't about being distant. It's about knowing where you feel most safe, balanced, and in control. And in this chapter of life, that's something worth protecting. Final thoughts on admirer von admission on room. Did any of these reasons strike a nerve with you? Maybe you felt that quiet pressure to visit, to smile, to sit politely while your body begged for rest, but you didn't know how to say no without seeming rude. You're not alone. And you're not wrong for wanting something different. Getting older means learning how to protect your peace, sometimes even from the things you used to enjoy. It means being okay with staying home, with choosing solitude, with recognizing that your needs matter just as much as anyone else's. You're not being dramatic. You're being wise. So here's my question for you. Which of these reasons hit home the most? Is there a moment when you visited someone and came home more drained than fulfilled? Share that with us in the comments. And remember, your time, your energy, your body, and your peace are worth protecting, especially now. Thank you for joining us today. We'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below and share one thing you learned today and how you plan to use it in your life. Your thoughts are important to us, so don't hesitate to share them. Reading your comments gives us great motivation and encouragement. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.